In our time, our presidents could be elected as members of parliament, and also they could be voted in as presidential candidates. President Jomo Kenyatta was a member of parliament for Gatundu, but he was also contesting as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Zimbabwe has now taken that and said citizens of Zimbabwe will not vote for their president. They will vote for their members of parliament. He will serve for 7 years. The members of parliament who are now serving and the president who is serving, they were supposed to go for elections in 2028. They have been added 2 years. Are we likely to see Cherargei back? Are we likely to see William Ruto beyond 2027? Welcome to our trending news version of our Court Helicopter. Our crew went to Zimbabwe. Vivian flew from Zimbabwe with a constitutional amendment. Why are we doing a story over Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe originally was called Rhodesia. The first president of Zimbabwe was Robert Mugabe. He was a president for 37 years. Due to his ailment, he went for treatment out of the country. His vice president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, staged a coup, a military coup, and took over power. He became the president. The first elections were conducted in 2023. He was elected as his first term. The second election under the Zimbabwean constitution is after 5 years. So the second election was going to be done in 2028. A bill was presented to Parliament to amend the tenure of the president. That bill sailed through, and the constitution of Zimbabwe has been amended in the following way. This is the bill, and this is what the president has enacted into the law. It is, this act may be cited, that is, this act may be cited as the Constitution of Zimbabwe Amendment Act number 3. It provides in section 3. It amends section 92 of the Zimbabwean Constitution. What does it do? Section 92, that is the election of the president of the Constitution, is repealed and substituted by the following. 1. The president must be elected by the members of parliament in a joint sitting of the Senate and the National Assembly. So there will be no universal suffrage. Members of parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly, shall elect their president. 2. The election must take place at a joint sitting of parliament following the swearing in of the members of the Senate and the National Assembly, and the election of the speakers of the National Assembly and the president of the Senate, respectively. So, after the members have been sworn in, they will elect their speakers. After that, the first business is to elect the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. 3. To be elected president, the candidate must receive more than half of the valid votes cast by the members of parliament. 50 plus 1 votes of the parliamentarians. That is when you become a president. 4. In the event that none of the presidential candidates receives a majority in the first ballot, a runoff ballot must be held between the two candidates with the highest number of votes, and the candidate receiving the majority in the runoff will be declared the president. 5. The election of the president shall be conducted by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission in accordance with the electoral laws and standing orders. 6. Any person elected as a president under this section must cease to be a member of parliament upon assuming office. What does this mean? Zimbabwe is going to the way Kenya used to be. President Moi had to be elected from Kabarak constituency. President Kibaki was always elected from Othaya constituency. President Jomo Kenyatta was a member of parliament for Gatundu. But he was also contesting as the president of the Republic of Kenya. That was our Kenyan constitution. Zimbabwe has now taken that and said the president should not be elected by people. In our time, our presidents could be elected as members of parliament, and also they could be voted in as presidential candidates. Raila Odinga was being elected as a member of parliament of Langata, and he was a presidential candidate. That was our time. Zimbabwe now has changed and said citizens of Zimbabwe will not vote for their president. They will vote for their members of parliament. When one of the members of parliament is elected, he will present himself before the members of parliament to elect him or her as a president. Only members of parliament, the Senate, and the National Assembly will vote to elect the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. That is the most critical issue. Citizens have no say. 2, an amendment into the tenure of the president is found in section 5. In subsection 2B, they deleted the words 5 years and substituted to 7 years. The president of Zimbabwe will be elected by members of parliament. He will serve for 7 years. The members of parliament who are now serving and the president who is serving, they were supposed to go for elections in 2028. They have been added 2 years. So there will be no election in Zimbabwe in 2028 for the president and for the members of parliament. The next general election will be in 2030 for the president and for the National Assembly. In Kenya, remember what some members of parliament were saying. The Senate, Senator Cherargei, brought a motion to extend the term of President Ruto for 7 years and to extend the term of parliament to 7 years. Will this trigger the National Assembly in Kenya to amend the constitution and grant President Ruto another 2 years? Will they not? Remember, out of all the parliamentarians, there are around 440 something elected at 290. Only 12% are re-elected. Over 87 to 88% of members of parliament lose their seats. They have now seen this. Are we likely to see Cherargei back? Are we likely to see William Ruto beyond 2027? From Court Helicopter, as we bring you the law, whether it is from Zambia, whether it is from South Africa, whether it is from Zimbabwe, whether it is applying in Kenya. Wakili Danstan Omari from Helicopter News. Vivian has brought a nerve-wracking constitutional amendment from Zimbabwe. Thank you.